And we are live, back to cover the best thing DC has done in a hot minute. Let's talk about it. All right, guys, Brent here back with Geek Variants, cover all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more. This time, DC and HBO's The Penguin. And joining with me this time, we've swapped out Tony for Will. What are your thoughts on episode 1 since we did not get them last week?
Yeah, Sophia, right? Is that Sophia?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she twisted. I don't know as much about DC as Tony does, but I definitely know a little bit of my history, and I remember that her and her brother played different characters, Holiday Killer, and she name dropped the Hangman. So she is definitely going to be a problem all throughout this series, and I love how they've done Oswald. Like he is really kind of they really humanized him to make him, more relatable with the jacked up foot, which you don't know why he has the jacked up foot, but it gives him that waddle. That's what that penguin thing. The allusion to his, colors with the plum car, which was always great. He's out here trying to fight. He's an underdog. He's trying to survive and make this stuff work, and it is so good. Like I did not expect him to take out freaking old boy like that immediately. Bop, bop, bop. I'm like, yeah, that did it for me. It was sealed from that moment on. Like this is gonna be a really good show. They got to keep this momentum.
And I've been the target audience for this show since its inception. I'm a I love dark comics. I love anything that's gangster. Hello, this show. And if you are new to the channel, please be sure to go tell your friends about this show, The Penguin. This show is gritty. This show is dark. This story is well told. We have a diverse cast. We have a very unique cast. I almost missed that was Clancy Brown in the last episode. That is
Oh
Mr.
yeah.
Krabs as a gangster. That is Lex Luthor from the DC animated universe crossing over to play Maroni. Like we are going in for some big people here. And of everybody, Clancy Brown, I would not have picked him, but boy, am I happy we have him because he is just a fantastic voice actor, let alone actor. So having him in such a prominent role to go alongside Colin Farrell is kind of like an adversary or kind of a confidant, if you would, because things are going to continue to get worse before they get better as far as the crime in this show. Because there's no way this is going to get easier on anybody overall. Colin Farrell's Penguin is in it to win it, and he played things off on a Godfather esque level last week. And if you haven't watched those movies, just watch the first two. Incredible. But basically, he set up everything so that it would look like Maroni, even though Maroni has literally nothing to do with this, no knowledge of what transpired or how the event of taking out of the head of, Falcone's son happened, made him look like the number one person overall for this. What's on up, Antonio? Welcome back. Welcome back. But made him look like the number one suspect, regardless of the fact he had any idea what was going on, because he just decided to give him a ring as a gift, which earns Maroni's confidence in him, but also puts a target directly on Maroni's back. All whilst he was just perfectly being held captive. He's like, I couldn't have done this. You know where I was. I was butt naked on your chair, having somewhat either look like piano wire or garrote wire being pulled right through the shoulder, which, if you aren't aware, both are exceptionally sharp and you can completely just rip right through just about everything other than the bone. So if you find a nice little gap there, yeah, that's gonna be a problem. So he was exactly where he needed to be, and it turns out that his driver from last week looks like he's really gonna make a mark for himself. How did you feel about the driver character really coming on in this episode?
So Kid's name Victor Aguilar. He came in clutch. I think he's the new addition to the show. Don't know if he has any ties anywhere, but
He's in the
uh,
comics.
yeah, I don't know where his ties are exactly. Tony will be able to answer that. But again, he looks like a fun character. Like he's willing to do what it takes to survive, and he's trying to prove himself to Cobblepot. So he's like, look, I got ambition. He said it in the first verse. I got ambition. I'm ready to do what it takes to step up. Instead of just having this dollar chump change in my wallet. And he did everything that Oswald said, and for the most part, minus the very particulars, but the overall message was sent and things got done. So he is still out there to make things happen, and I really think that we're going to see him kind of step up and kind of go down this darker road. And while he's kind of I won't say a comedic part right now, so like that, I feel like the kid's going to get darker as we go. He's going to get more brutal as we go because he's going to prove himself to do what needs to be done to make sure that his employer stays around. So
I was I was gonna say because he's basically indebted to Oz for all intents and purposes. His life was spared, and it was funny because Oz was ribbing him like the entire time. It's like, you're broke. Can you really afford to think this small on your operations? What we're gonna do? Like lift my rims? Like out of all the things you could have done, that's where you decided to go and settle. You're thinking too small. It's stupid. It's boorish. It kind of explains why you're in the position you're in. You just need somebody to kind of like lift that veil and be like, look, these are the things you can really do if you put your mind to it. But you don't have a mentor. I'll kind of mentor you, take you under my wing, even though it was, I think, very tongue in cheek. It's like, you think I let any old schmuck, I meet off the street, just kind of join my gang and join my crew? It's like, you literally just did. But at the same time, Victor is quickly establishing himself as someone who can get things done. And I thought Victor made excellent points. If you brought the average old lifter of, rims from cars off the street to go ahead and handle the basically the butchering of a body or trying to present it in such a way to like a crew of gangsters how it needs to be done properly, there's got to be a couple questions that come up. And it's not like Penguin can just literally text him, hey, do this, or call him, do this, do that, let's talk over this, let's talk over that. He was just like, basically all it needs to be there is the ring has to be there, and we need to make sure that it's very clear that it looks like somebody else did this. We need to make sure that, oh, sorry, I misspoke, that the ring is gone, but it make it looks like somebody else did this. And we'll kind of give them like a little crumb trail to be like, hey, what's his face is now in Blackgate. He's got the ring. He's showing it off. Huh? See? Innocent. Nothing to do with this. So Oz is going to continue to have his evolution on this show. And if you love the Batman, you're going to love this. If you loved anything either Goodfellas or Godfather related, and this is like even this a soft rodeo into anything comics, this will be a great point for you to kind of jump on in and kind of take a look at this universe that Matt Reeves is making. Because I, for one, I'm completely sold on it already. I'm fanboying over it. We need a Matt Reeves esque universe. I don't know why everyone's like, oh yeah, Snyderverse, Snyderverse, Snyderverse. It was never that good. It was mid at best when it was at peaking. Why were we hyping it up? The Matt Reeves universe right now, 2 for 2. And the max numbers go to show and reflect that from last week. Since the Penguin episode 1 dropped, the Batman's numbers went back up by over 30% in amount of views since just that one episode. That's pretty telling as far as audience is concerned when there's so many different streaming services and so many different good shows going on. Because like we've got tons of great shows covered, like Agatha all along. We've been covering The Rings of Power, which is hitting its finale this week. We've been covering My Hero Academia, and there's so much more great stuff rolling out the next coming weeks. So for people to go ahead and put, the 3 hours in necessary to watch the Batman, which I think is the best Batman film I've ever seen. I know some people call hot take. I stand by it. But at the same time, this show is it for me. I'm really excited to see what episode 2 has for us and just like what we can discuss as far as things are concerned. Because I'm very interested to see where we go with Sophia. Because, like you told me earlier, she's dangerous, she's unpredictable, and she's insanely intelligent. And you put those three things together, and she has the power and muscle to go out and do what she needs to get done. She's going to be a formidable opponent for Oz, and he's going to have to play her perfectly or things are going to go from bad to worse for him right now because he's put all his chips on the table and he hopes everything kind of falls perfectly his way. Colin Farrell, fantastic job. Is there anything else from episode one you wanted to really address as we kind of hit that refresh button, hoping for episode two to drop on Max?
Uh, Not much. We're just kind of waiting and stuff like that. I'm just trying to figure out, who else they're going to drop in here. What are the things that they're going to set up as far as Cobblepot goes? He is not officially known as, the
The
show is titled The
Penguin.
Penguin, but we're working on that. But I know one thing, he has had sidekicks. Like Chick was one of his sidekicks in the comics, and it's all his sidekicks were like some kind of bird derivative, and that's why the clever play with Victor's name, Victor Aguilar, which apparently is comes from a Spanish word which means eagle. So they're definitely playing it up. There's Easter eggs gonna be left and right throughout this thing, and you're probably gonna have to watch the episode at least twice over to make sure you catch them all.
I was gonna say because I watched the episode one twice. Episode number two just in fact dropped on Max, titled Inside Man. So as per usual, as Antonio knows, when we get these shows, I'm gonna skip past all the intros because it's just gonna be them talking about Last of Us, which we will have a preview video for season two a little bit closer to it. I'm gonna skip the recap and the opening. I'll let you know what the timer mark is at. We'll sync up. We'll discuss this show and have a great time enjoying what we got going on. It looks like they're just jumping straight into the meat and potatoes of this episode. I'll drop the minute marker in chat so everyone knows to sync up on their own devices, enjoy some high quality Max content with us. And as always, support the official site for viewing, which is Max. Tons of great stuff coming up on their streaming service. I cannot recommend Kite Man enough. Harley Quinn has been on there, Last of Us, House of the Dragons, Game of Thrones. The list goes on. Max has been a great spot to enjoy all of your streaming needs in that regard. 2 minutes and 32 seconds is where I've got. Will, let me know when you're there. And chat, let me know when you're synced up. That probably means you, Antonio, if you are still around. We'll go ahead and sync up there and enjoy the episode together. We kind of sync up just to keep everyone from talking about random points at random times.
Yeah,
So
I'm good to go whenever.
you're good to go. Antonio, are you there and are you good? I'll give you a couple seconds there to chime on in. If not, we'll just go on without you. I don't know if you have ads or not. Because I know for Hulu shows, give me like 20 seconds. Fair enough. Sounds like a plan. We'll get you synced up then, my friend, and we will be all good to watch. And for those who are just joining in, if you love the content, sure hit the lovely red subscribe button. It greatly helps us out as we're currently on the road to 1,100 subscribers, which is absolutely insane to me to even say out loud. I don't even think I've met 1,100 people in my entire life. So that's pretty wild. Thank you so much for all of your support. Let's enjoy some amazing Penguin content here in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's watch. Oh, looks like we're picking up where Sophia was in Arkham, or at least going to cover some of her time that she had there. I wonder what characters we're going to see through everything going on.
The Condiment King. Oh,
Polka Dot Man.
Calendar Man.
I know someone would get absolutely psyched about all that. Is that her? Yeah, it's her brother back when he was still with us. Looks like the same booth from the Batman, like they copy and pasted perfectly. Ah. Oh, she's having a nightmare. Because like this is the
Hmm.
finger he was missing. Yep. This is basically the voices or the struggles she has internally being manifested. Which yeah, she's definitely on a high alert. Family therapist? Wow. What's up, Mister? What is up? Enjoying some
Yeah.
high quality penguin action. Even though Sophia's having a breakdown of breakdowns right now. This therapist has definitely gone on. We are watching Penguin on this live stream right now, watching it off screen as we always do. No audio or video will be within the streaming square here. Hmm. Dr. Rush. Hmm. I'm gonna write that down. I don't know if that's someone prominent or someone just made up for the show. Just trying to make sure everything is covered in that regard. Hmm. They have a very uneasy relationship as far as therapist and client does. Hmm. I do find it interesting that we're going out of our way to kind of have her humanized, even though I think she's going to be our catalyst moving forward for the darkest aspects of the show.
Oh, absolutely. She is going to be unhinged some point throughout the course of the show.
Hmm. And Gotham, known for their always stellar weather. Hmm. Got everybody hanging out at Blackgate. Hmm. Hmm. And that's Mr. Krabs right there, everybody. My goodness. Penguin right now, he's talking that game.
He is.
He's literally just one side here, one side here. Just run them in each other. Is that Ronnie's son? So, so everything's being set up perfectly right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Oh, there's the hitch. Mm, mm.
There you go.
Things are about to get extra complicated. But I do love the suspense that they're building. I'm surprised though that a guy who's known for paper and numbers is all of a sudden out here giving Oz orders. Like Sophia couldn't have been the one on point because he just needs to find a way to go from car one to car two. So unless you have the right people from Maroney, they're just gonna go out and take out all of car one and not think twice about it because they don't have a specific description for Penguin and said, "Don't go after him." Mm.
Oh boy.
I love how he's seeing all this coming, but the driver, who needs to be the most alert, is just being stupid, right? And he's just basically trying to time everything out in his head perfectly. Got him. Nice duck. Nice play on his part. Just basically grab something to
Yeah.
hold on to. At worst, you break your wrist. At best, limping your way forward. Oops.
You know.
Oh no. His foot's on the gas too. Yeah, you better hobble your way forward. Oh, there you go. Thank goodness. But yeah, it's crazy that Colin Farrell's underneath all of these prosthetics. Also, whoever's choosing the music is doing a fantastic job of selling the theme of the show. Mm. Huh. Took one dude from the inside job and was like, cool, now we're moving around. Not bad. Because now you're way too far in. Of course, Penguin needs to act like he's the victim, so he's going to be in there yelling the loudest.
Yeah. He's on one. Hmm. There we go. She. Oh,
Yep, she's going to be emotionally built up, so now it's going to be head on war. Mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I'm not really sure I've talked crazy to her of all people.
all right.
That's how you go missing real quick. Mm. putting everybody in their place as specifically as he can. He's gonna ask Oz to
Hmm.
stay. I don't know if that means I'm good or I'm in trouble.
Sophia.
Because she gets entirely what this is about. So he's gonna let the rat stay around for a while? Mm, interesting. She's gonna have him taken care of like in the next week. There's no way he's making out of this.
It's possible. I think she's
Well,
gonna keep him close though, for now.
did he save Castillo so that would be his patsy, his fall guy? Hmm. Penguin is just silver tongued as all get out. No, it's a dangerous line still. Very dangerous.
Mm,
I don't know if she's buying this as much as we're hoping she buys this.
no, she's not buying it, but I think she's gonna keep him around. Because again, she's smart. She's not gonna get rid of him.
Like, he's still
Not
valuable, but like at what expense? You know, it's like he's probably just even more confused. Mm-mm. What is he looking at?
yeah, trying to figure it out.
Hmm. There's someone missing on that poster. You probably have to go back and freeze frame that one. Could be missing a family member or a friend, unless he lived in the part of town that got flooded pretty bad. Hence why he's doing the life choice he's making. I mean, what are you gonna do at that point? He's the man who could have ended your existence, so I guess it's time to start picking cilantro.
Get rid of that freaking cilantro.
I personally enjoy cilantro, so I don't understand the war on cilantro all of a sudden. 7 women? Dang, and she got out?
Mm.
Good attorneys. The blue heron, another bird. Guy you're working for.
Mm.
Yeah, that'll be a quick ending. Hmm. Worked his way up all the way from a bar back. Hmm. He's staying quite popular with the ladies, considering everything going on with him.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, take it up with the Riddler.
We're gonna keep name dropping that, which is perfect. But also at the same time, I think that guy is just looking for a quick fix. But again, I guess that bar back used to be selling it, if I had to guess. Mm. Sees her is like, I want nothing to do with this. I've got enough problems. You're gonna talk.
Mm-hmm.
He took a little off the top and lost it along the way. Mm. She's got everybody played well.
Mm-hmm.
That would be wild though. Like you're a detective, you just got off work, straight up doing this. Yeah, the acting is fantastic, Trey. Everyone is delivering. This feels like The Sopranos or The Godfather, or Goodfellas was put, you know, inside Batman universe. Oh wow, look at that. Extra cash. A lot of cash. Those are all hundreds. Graciela. That's the girl he's probably talking to. So he's just making up appearances just to, you know, keep everything on the books. Just like the boys. Cake and camming. Enough said. Hmm, hmm.
It's nervous.
Very nervous. But also, I don't know how well most people would react to being put in this situation. He has that nervous tick where he just keeps grabbing his right ear when he's really, really nervous as well.
Mm.
Tough backstory. I'm just a driver. That's all I would say.
That's enough for now.
And that's all that needs to go out.
Now, what is it gonna do with these photos?
Because I think he's going to continue to either he's going to find that girl or he's just going to blackmail that individual when the time is right to kind of take him down. He's systematically taking out the top people for the Falcons.
Yeah, because that's the guy. But yeah, who's the woman? Like she's somebody's wife.
Somebody's wife, or that's not his wife.
Both.
His girl is smart as all get out.
Yeah. What is her name?
I could not tell you
Eve.
for the life of me.
He just said Eve. Okay.
And you're right. I do love how they're not pandering to people by making certain characters appear a certain way. Everyone is intelligent. There's no one who's really portraying anything as stupid. It's like she has a seedy line of work, but she's incredibly sharp and adept at what she does. And it's
Hmm.
just like, why in the world did you put me in danger? You must be desperate to make this work right here, right now. I wonder if he's gonna like end up taking care of her, like once it's all said and done, like providing her with like a nice life and all that. This is the most dangerous game he's ever gonna play.
Oh, her name is Eve. She's got a very particular last name,
What's the last name?
Carlo.
Oh, like Basil Carlo, the Clayface.
That's the way it's spelled.
Carlo.
No, Karlo.
Hmm. I'm sure Tony's somewhere fanboying over that a little bit. Sophia's still struggling with certain parts of her sanity.
It'll make sense though, to a degree. In that line of work, you know, be a different person every so.
So that's a nice looking tie. I wonder if Sophia just called him in. And I'd be like, hey, what did my driver get up to last night? Oh, it's his mom. What's going on with her? Mm, the doctor he probably got for her.
She's doing a phenomenal job too.
Hmm. The acting in this show is just incredible, top to bottom. Oh, she's losing it. It's like, yeah, money makes the world go round, baby. Mm. We never did find out what Victor was doing last night with the cam, because he's definitely going to need upper help, even though probably doesn't want to. Because putting her in permanent care would definitely put a target on her back, because it'd be much easier for people to get to her if they knew where she was, because she'd be on the book somewhere, as opposed to a private address and just able to do what she needs to. Gonna have a little dance with his mom.
That's one of the things about dementia and stuff. You want to kind of capitalize on lucid moments and stuff. It's gonna be stuff that grounds them.
Hmm. And he's hoping that this is gonna bring her back somewhat, or is he just doing this as a general test to kind of see what her faculties really are at this moment in time?
He's got an idea what they are. Like he's just trying to keep her calm, relaxed.
Hmm. Hmm. Mhm. It is nice that they're capitalized on the fact that he's always had a really good relationship with female figures in his life, whether it was his mother or any of his other individuals he came across family wise. Because he wanted to be the old fashioned gangster. He didn't want to be the new school. He doesn't respect new school, which is almost always why him and Two Face never really got along, because Two Face was, well, flip a coin. That's how he ran things. A lot of people keep saying that to him, though. A lot of people keep saying that to him. Will the pressure ever get to him? And did they ever fix that, bullet hole in the back of the car?
Nah.
It's like, come on, get out of the way.
Oh, is that Luca's wife?
Oh, wow. Interesting. That is definitely not the right person. And they're all out here trying to attack Sophia. She seems to be handling it adequately. Didn't get a good look at most of those signs, unfortunately. Only got look about 3 or 4. This was the cover for the thumbnail for the episode. Beautiful old church. Yep. Still an awkward situation between everybody. I wonder if they're gonna address like what happened to the brothers.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about.
She's just I think he's trying to talk to her about family because she cares about family. He's just trying to ingratiate himself and like on the good side of things. Yeah, it's a lot harder to celebrate than mourn, but I hear you. Oh no, yeah, we've never had a theatrical transition movie TV show same quality. This is very very well done. It's like I think there's some animes where they've translated movie and TV show same level. Like Demon Slayer and My Hero Academia might be the two closest. But again, it's anime. It's always going to be animated as far as live action carryover, and there'd be no drop. Oh yeah, 100% Trey. This is it's going to be a special show that people are going to be begging for season two for, but will we get it? Who knows?
Hmm. Hmm.
Wow, it's a very enthusiastic detective because he was working with Penguin, so he'll have all the right answers. Season two will probably be Batman Part Two. So, man, she has got the smoker of smoker voices. Dang.
She was in Mass Effect. I recognize her voice anywhere.
Hmm.
Auntie Ron.
One of your favorite gaming series of all time. No. Hey, well, that escalated quickly.
Very.
It's like someone reach into my dang pocket and just, figure it out. Sheesh. The blackmail.
Bam.
Little overselling himself, but doing well good.
Hmm.
Mm. He's like, oh crap, it had to be Irvad? Really?
And then
Really?
he's got to work it at the memorial. Like, yo, this is
It's just gonna be some James Bond type stuff where you're like, good luck, Penguin. Everyone gets quiet the minute she walks in. I've heard of black sheep in the family, but this might be ridiculous.
yeah.
I guess everyone got hung up on it. Huh? Huh? Because she's called the hangman? Anybody?
You
That's
stop it.
crowd. No. Damn.
She's like, well, the thing is, they're gonna sit there and call her crazy. Like, she gonna sit here and act crazy now.
Yeah, because she just literally stuck her hand right in the looked like it was either ziti or pasta. Just boop, started fisting the meal. Whatever. You'll figure it out, Victor. You'll figure it out.
Boy, he is a talker. I love it.
Yeah, because he needs to be. Because like this is a new kid off the block, and he's like, "Look, you're going to take down the head of this mob family." It's not like exactly he's waltzing in as like your create a character in a video game where you have all the stats built up for this mission. He's just here you go, level 1, figure it out. He may be level 2 considering he did one job, but again, it's not an ideal situation. Because now he needs to figure out also where Urvod is while he's doing everything else. And find an excuse to ensure Urvod never speaks again. Or breaks him loose.
Mhm.
Because Urvod knows everything about who did it,
Mhm.
how he did it, and who's been playing both sides perfectly. Playing with the devil on
What?
their shoulder for him. Everyone is looking at everyone except for the guy who's literally spoon feeding them the information. This is perfectly done. This is good writing. I miss this. We need more good writers in Hollywood. Please. Went from these innocent little kids to a drophead and the hangman. Wild. Oh, yeah. She might have a breakdown here shortly. Only one person actually has gone up and hugged her. Hmm. What? How good you get in one summer to where you're getting invites? Never mind. That's not worth getting into. I'm getting sidetracked here.
Why did she snatch her so close? Like you everything you just built up in that 5 seconds, you just destroyed that fast.
It's like, and I don't honestly think Sophia, what she was doing was taking out kids. Was it?
Hmm.
He'd be like, I keep her close by. There it is.
Mm. Mm.
I'd just be like, okay, we're not speaking to her again. Mm. They went and tattled on her, which is going to help drive that wedge the penguin was looking for. You just put it under one of the seats. You don't got to be like clever about it. Oh, Victor's got wheels. Good for him. But he's in a bad position right now. Now the basement's open. Penguin slides in.
Waddles.
Everything's slowly going to plan. Sorry.
I mean, penguin slide too, but
Cha cha real smooth. So is he gonna put a bullet in him? Is he gonna save him? Like, what is he gonna do? Weird predicament, Oz. A little slap, slap, wake him up. Okay. Morning, sunshine. This is a bold plan considering he's between consciousness.
Yeah.
Hope Zoe Kravitz still gets the show. Oh yeah, expanding Gotham would be fantastic, but we need to go baby steps. I hope she stays in the movie universe for at least one more go. Maybe get her movie after.
Got to think on your feet. Got to think on your feet.
You got to think on your feet. You're not going to be have your hand held the entire time you're running the operation, especially if you're going to be Penguin's right hand man. Wow. Oh wow. He's just going to pull a full on audible. Oh. Oh. Yeah, that's going to sting for a while. Well, until you end anyway. Well, I don't think we're going to be seeing Arbot anymore.
But this keeps VD around a little bit longer.
Yeah. We're hitting the pause button at the wrong time. But also, who are they going to say was down here that knew of this, that pulled this off? That's the interesting thing. They draw a lot of attention to the right pocket, so we'll have to keep that in mind if anyone's drawing attention. Got to make sacrifices. He made the biggest one. He's gonna come here, see the mess, and be like, "Oh no," because that's a capo. So that means this war is gonna escalate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Luca's gonna run things a little bit differently than Sophia would have run things. Oh, we're gonna make a nice little fun list. Yep, there we go. And he needs to go ahead and put that knife in somebody else's pocket. Go a little transfer over here. You're not gonna be able to hold that all the way up there. And
There it
chunk
is.
things working again. Yeah, he's gonna slide the knife in while he's going in here. That was the whole purpose of it.
So good.
Perfect excuse. He's still gonna get his man. He's got to work perfectly. What? Wow. Wow. Castillo's the fall guy. Yeah, well, he was working with the family. Now he's got a new retirement plan.
I knew Vidi was gonna survive it
Mm, just because it's too soon.
because she doesn't get her justice, which she's been preaching about. She's gonna continue to be angry.
It's
Mm.
going to get fed further and further. They're going to have infighting while they're still settling a now gang war. Isn't that magical?
Mm.
This TV show is just giving and giving.
Did he send Sophia to make her reminisce about the girls' trip? Because now he's bringing up Lake Como and stuff again.
Potentially. Maybe he's just trying to send
He's
her away
he,
and have her
he's
removed
trying to
from the
get
picture
rid of
entirely.
her. He's trying to get rid of her. That allows him to stake his claim because usually, that stuff falls to the children, and it
Mm.
fell to the son, but the daughter is there. But of course, a lot of times they don't think women can handle it when they be dead wrong
House of the
about stuff.
Dragons should be the kind of perfect example of that. They find the next male who is semi close related. Like
Hmm.
you're the third cousin twice removed, but you're close enough over this actual flesh and blood daughter. But hey, whatever. We'll split hairs on this. And now she's going to seek the help from Penguin, and they're going to make things work. Yeah, because they just got rid of two innocent people. This is going to be a teaching moment.
Hmm. This is where you would be.
Like, if not for me, this is where you are. When I give you an order, you do it. No questions. Oh, that's gross. Yeah, it's probably going to feel pretty crappy. Don't be sorry, just do better. This is the rise of the Penguin we're watching. I wouldn't say poor
Yes.
kid. I mean, he was living a life of crime on the low level, and he's about to be on the come up. He just has to evolve past what he currently is and fast.
Hmm.
Any other kid I would have felt sorry for, but Vic was living a life of crime before this. He was just doing it foolishly. Yep. Sophia turned to him.
Because her own family. That's what I said. He's gonna be kept around.
He's gonna just get progressed further and further forward. And I think this episode is gonna end with her saying, "We're going to start dismantling what's going on here." Interesting meeting spot.
So and the thing is, it's foreshadowing because it's already got a spot for her.
Well, usually when you buy crypts, you have to buy it for everyone you think is going to go in. So it is
Yeah.
foreshadowing, but it's also something that is actually real in the business world. You have to buy the plots beforehand, especially these high end places like this. So I'm assuming this cost a mint. Hmm. She's not gonna have this family taken away from her.
Hmm.
God, that's a weird speech. She does not sugarcoat anything.
No, that's why I love her character right now. I'm loving her character.
This should be fun. You've known these men all of your life and they've been your friends, and your response to removing them is, "This should be fun." Is there anything about next about 10, 20 seconds in after this episode? Mm. It looks a lot like they're gonna cover a lot more of what's going on with Victor next week and who Graciela was and kinda life that was going on there. And it does look like Vidi might be our star of next week's show. So, we'll see how that goes and all things concerned. 'Cause it's going to get messier before this gets cleaner. That's for certain. So wild, wild episode. Victor chokes. Sophia ready to have some fun. I guess that's one way of describing it. What do you think about this episode, Will?
This episode was fantastic. Like they are 2 for 2. They are hitting right now, and it is really good.
This is must watch television. And the fact the viewership numbers didn't necessarily reflect that last week, I find shocking. If you're watching this at any point in time, recommend this show to someone, friend, family member. Get these numbers up. I know it's a limited series, and some people wait till like all 8 episodes have dropped and then they do their viewing, which, hey, totally get it. Totally fine. This show is the best thing on television right now. I am a diehard Lord of the Rings fan. Rings of Power is nothing compared to this. Agatha all along, Marvel show, up Will's wheelhouse. Would you take Penguin over this?
Absolutely,
My Hero Academia has been
absolutely.
slapping, and it may have peaked with last episode. I won't talk spoilers, but still would not take My Hero Academia over this. Penguin is where it's at. Yeah, and like Antonio said in chat, humanized his mom, lied that she died to protect her. The knife switch was super well done. Like, this was perfectly up everyone's alley. The acting in this show is incredible. The writing is super nuanced. It's very well told. I'm a little shocked that it's, a show that is transpiring within the DC universe that's popping off like this, because this is basically what we thought Marvel would be when they made TV shows. But hey, Matt Reeves knows his universe. He knows how to tell it. And he said he was going to keep things fun and he was going to keep things interesting. And no, the show does not come on at midnight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Episode's already out. Football Scouting Report. We're talking basically spoilers and all that stuff. So if you don't want those, I would head on out, watch the episode, come on back, and enjoy with us. We'll have a review out by that moment in time so you can enjoy all things geek. But it was a fantastic drop time. I think the other thing that is hurting this show is that the show itself drops during Sunday Night Football. It's a hard competition time because, America, duh, we do love our sports. And normally I'd be watching Sunday Night Football. But this show, I'll take this over football any given Sunday. Pun intended. This show is great. Start to finish, right now, standout character for me is Victor. I do love his character. I do love how he's been humanized to such an extent. Oh, I can't second that as far as who you want to marry. Football scouting report. That's you're a brave soldier, but I ain't that brave.
So Sophia is on one. She is she's the best wife. Like I really want to see her kind of get to that point where it's gonna be all or nothing. because it's going to be so satisfying to see whether she comes out on top or she fails. Either way, it's going to be so satisfying to see because she is that driven in what it is that she wants. She wants revenge for her brother, which she was not able to get. You could have appeased her so easily, but you did not. And that's where she's on the path that she's on. Like, and it's gonna get ridiculous from this point on. Like,
Yeah,
I thought it
because
was bad already. Like, no, it's gonna go way up.
oh yeah, 'cause instead of appeasing her, you antagonized her. And the last thing you want is an antagonized former Arkham inmate. That's never spelled a single recipe for positivity in Gotham at all. The Hangman is Sophia. That's her moniker. That's what she goes by. That's how she's known. She's done a lot of insane stuff. Tony would have been the man to talk to about it because I'm not as well read DC comic wise. I think most of the casual audience is in the same boat as well. I'll do a little research and come back with that one, but the fact that she earned such a powerful moniker and that even at the funeral of her own family members, the media is coming and reporting and calling her all these names. They're holding up all these signs. They're, you know, cat calling at her, antagonizing her, trying to get her to react, get her to do something. And she's just out there having a cigarette like it's, your average Tuesday, even though she has to put her brother at rest and deal with all the people trying to push her buttons and make her like push things up a notch so she does something crazy so they can be like, see, we told you. But Sophia, her and Oz's relationship is going to get from interesting to exceptionally complicated because this is the definition of ride or die. Like Oz is going to have to ride this out or he will no longer be with us because Sophia's that woman. She's the most dangerous woman in Gotham at this moment in time, and I don't think there's anybody else who can even argue for second place at this time in the Batman universe. She's a problem would be the nice way of saying it. So, a lot of stuff to break down there. How did you feel about Penguin and his last second decision making process?
He is a character who can think on his feet very quickly, and with the combination of him being a smooth talker, it only accentuates his ability to stand out, but at the same time remain low key. And again, he basically was able to bring the focus onto him for a slight second, like, hey, I know what's going on, and then immediately shift to where it needed to go and then walk off like it was nothing. And the problem starts to, get going in the direction it needs to get going. Like, it is so great to see him in this role. And like, I need him as a staple, like throughout Matt Reeves' Batman universe, the movies of that. Again, he's working in the background, he's doing stuff. Even if you don't show him in any more of the movies or whatever the case may be, have him mentioned by name if he's still around and stuff like that, because I think he's one of the perfect fixtures to kind of bring it in. And this is what gives me freaking hope for the Batman universe. Because again, granted, we had a peak at Joker more or less in the Batman, but again, the focus was on Riddler. We had freaking, Cobblepot there, so at that, like, you could have Cobblepot more or less being the overarching villain throughout the three-part series, setting stuff up, taking over certain things, so at that. And especially if you continue his season going, doing stuff in between, like in between each movie. Like again, Batman 2 drops, and then freaking you give us another single season of Penguin. So like that with more stuff that's going on in the background. We may get cameos from other characters. Like, it's just gonna be too good. You could literally have him bring up, the Rogues Gallery to a point where now Batman has to face off against, say he's got, he's taking on, because Batman has done it. Batman can take on, multiple at the same time and handle business. So we can get to that point, and we know that Oswald is not necessarily the fighter type. He's the work from behind or whatever and get stuff done. So again, you give him a frontline, you know, fighter that's going to do that work for him. So with that, you can still have Penguin running the show in the back and give Batman other problems to deal with in the future. But I'm loving this. I'm loving everything that Oswald has got going. He is one of my favorite characters thus far. And I won't even classify him as a villain at this point in time because I don't think he's gotten necessarily to that status yet.
He's an
He's a
anti-hero at best right now.
he's a criminal and he's doing what he knows best to get stuff done, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, because we're rooting for him in spite of all of his moral flaws that are obvious. It's greed, it's lust, it's all the whole kit and caboodle, typical gangster. It's like him being able to work his way out of that knife situation that Trey was talking about. Yeah, that was a tough situation to even get into or get out of. But it was so smart the minute that he turned and called Vidi a rat. That was to kind of stir everybody up, kind of get people at least starting to think that point because everyone's in panic mode. When humans go into panic mode, if you're able to stir the pot and you're convincing enough, people are just going to go along with whatever keeps them still above ground and not in the hole with where everyone else is going. So they'll just kind of follow along. So him stirring the pot and then putting it on the bodyguard. I thought the bodyguard was a weird touch, but again, I think he just felt the timing wasn't right and there wasn't enough circumstantial evidence to make things really work out the way that he intended to. Because maybe he was unsure if Luca would have pulled on Vidi, but he knew Luca would pull on somebody that was in Sophia's crew, and now Sophia's down one, and she wasn't able to get back for her brother. Now we're going to be in a very interesting, precarious predicament.
Well, he said Vidi should be in that hole. So I think he was going for Vidi. So that because again, he is impulsive. That's the thing. Oswald is quick, he's smart, but he's still impulsive. So he was trying to get the knife into the pocket, but I think he got it into whichever pocket he could get it in as long as it was off him. It just happened to be that guy because he looked genuinely surprised when it was like Vidi was clean. So he was like, freaking, oh, it was the other guy. So it was like, whatever. It was a tussle. It got thrown into a pocket. It's off of Cobblepot. That's the important thing. It's off of him. It's on someone else. So I think that there's still he's still gunning for him sort of that, but I think Vidi, especially because Michael Kelly is a great actor. I loved him in Jack Ryan. So he's done several things, but he's great for these kind of quiet freaking quiet characters that kind of work in the background. So I absolutely expect to see him around for a few more episodes before they get rid of him.
Yeah,
But
he plays those seedy business type roles pretty well. If we're talking about the same person, if we're talking about the actors playing Vidi, like he
yeah,
plays those rich white dude who's basically got that old money really, really well. He has that aesthetic about the way he carries himself acting wise that it works flawlessly. And then as Antonio pointed out, you don't care about the driver's past. The way he immediately became owned by Penguin, the nervous tick makes you sympathetic. Yeah, you can be sympathetic to Vic, but at the same time, I realized Vic made terrible choices. Vic put himself in this own position. He chose to save his own skin, and he got in the bed, proverbially, with the devil. This is what happens when you get in with a situation with people you don't fully understand or you don't really see their big picture. These are the kind of moments you can end up with and end up with a terrible, terrible boss. Luckily for him, his boss is quick thinking, quick mannered, and patient. Because while he is impulsive, he seems to be very patient with Vic. Vic should be in that hole. If this was real life and not a TV show, Vic would be gone. He hasn't proved himself to be super adept. He's made a couple clumsy errors already. The nervous tick and being able to unfortunately be unable to speak when he needs to, that will be something that when he's finally able to talk smoothly will be a huge point for the show to discuss. I'm thinking probably around episode 7 he'll have a moment where he doesn't stutter and goes right on through, and that'll be his character's like arc ascending to where he's just kind of rolling with the punches, able to talk on his feet, think on his feet, do on his feet, and kind of make Penguin proud the way that he needs to. Because Penguin, like Trey's pointing out, he's walking a very, very fine, tight line. And now he's going to have to go back and explain to the Maroney family, hey, they got to your guy before I could get him out. Like, sure, I gave you this dirt and that's helpful. But again, a mob family having dirt on somebody isn't exactly, world breaking or earth shattering news. This isn't like, LeBron James is taking his talent to Miami news. This is just, anyway, Baker Mayfield just signed with the Bucks. Like, cool, that's exciting, I guess. But like, it's not LeBron. So Penguin's going to have to go ahead and reinvent himself, rethink how things are going to be done, and kind of put things, right, so to speak, because he's walking between Maroney and he's walking between Sophia Falcone. And We don't know what got Maroney locked up, but we know what got Sophia locked up. I'd be more worried about her, truth be told. This show is supposed to be a limited series. It's only supposed to be like 8 episodes, so I think we're already a quarter of the way done with this thing. I'm just very happy that they're not doing this the way that Amazon has been doing shows and Disney's been dropping shows where you give us 3 episodes at once. I think that's a big waste, especially when we're doing such small seasons. I'm from the generation, and I'm sure Will can attest to, where most seasons of most shows were about 16 episodes long. They were almost always on. There's almost something to watch, and it was, super easy to engage in. It was one per week. You sat down at a scheduled time and you watched when it came out of that scheduled time. It was much watched television. You ever watch those Saturday morning cartoons? You knew when you had to be there. You knew what shows were on, and you knew exactly what you were going to be in for.
Well, the thing is, and especially about these shows is, and this is what good television does. One, there's enough inside the show. There's enough content inside of one hour episode, which is fantastic because that gives us stuff to talk about all week. Make whatever speculations we want to make, rewatch stuff, see what we missed, what's going on, like
Fan
how
theories.
things are like fan theory stuff, like out of this world. We can talk about any and everything. What little things can lead to this? We can go in, 6 different directions from here as to how things can turn out. It's absolutely fantastic. That also builds the hype up for the next episode. So by the time we get to, Friday, Saturday, we're like, yo, it's the weekend, Sunday. I gotta get to Sunday. Like, I gotta see Penguin to see what's going on. Like, nothing out of the way, like everything out of the way. I need to see this stuff.
The revolutionary shipment has not been discussed yet more in detail. We got some details, but
It's a new drug.
it hasn't appeared yet. All we know is that's still that new material that they're going to work that's going to top drops. It hasn't
It's a new
dropped yet.
drug that's supposed to, yeah, it's a new drug that's supposed to help them revolutionize and take over the markets like that. You know what'd be funny? Here's some speculation for you. Here's some theories for that. Freaking, what if it's the stuff that Scarecrow uses, and this is how they start to introduce Scarecrow or something like that? That's a possibility. Like that, like
If they
you
bring
can play
Scarecrow in,
around
they
with this.
better do so much better than the other Batman trilogy because Scarecrow was in all 3 films and he wasn't the main character in any of them. He was a side
I,
character for all three.
I mean, it
4?
depends
He
on
was in
how they
all
want to run
4.
it. Depends on how they want to run it. So
Was there 4?
mm, again, there's options for that. Freaking for all the three that I saw him in. So that yeah, he was there.
It
He
was
was
3, yeah,
around.
because it was Raish, Joker, Bane, and Bane wasn't even the main villain. It was, the daughter of Ra's al Ghul's Talia. So it's like
Yeah.
it was interesting to
So
see if that's a fun fan theory of putting the Scarecrow in something. But if they're gonna do Scarecrow, I trust them to do it correctly because Riddler was easily one of the best written villains we've seen to date. It didn't need an otherworldly performance, but we still got a great one on top of it because like Heath Ledger had to be otherworldly to make that script and that movie pop. The Riddler just had to be at least entertaining. So, a lot to go with. I think the actor is faking having a stutter, but I don't think that in the show itself Vic is faking that stutter. I think that's a real nervous tick that when he's truly caught up in the moment, it's just something he does. How do you feel about that, Will?
I agree with that. I think that it's going to be part of his evolution as far as his character goes, and him learning to control it and be more confident. Once his confidence improves, I think his stutter is going to improve. So that it's not how it happens in real life. It takes years of practice, speech therapy, and other things like that. But again, for sake of character growth, so like that, I think that's something that will come along because it's not a constant for him. It only happens as a nervous tick. So I think that that's something that definitely is going to elevate his character in the future.
Mhm.
Um, as far as Eve, what do you think of Eve? Again, from everything I've read and all the promotions, her name is Eve Carlo. So that, which means she could be in some way, shape, or form related to Basil Carlo. So with that, okay, again, um, it's a possibility. I don't know. So that freaking they could, this could be gender bent version of Carlo. So like that. I don't like, maybe that it's something because you gotta remember the original Clayface was Master of Disguise, used to swap in and out and so like that as far as costumes with that. You know, let's be honest, it's like that. A lady of the night in any case can swap a lot more easily and be unseen easier than most people can recognize. So that again, however they want to run it. So anything can happen with that. As far as Eve goes, like again, right now she's a confidant for you know Cobblepot, and she takes care of him. That's
How
all we
long will
know.
that last? Because she's nervous about Sophia. I
She's
think
nervous
she
about
could
it.
be that big falling card, that domino that falls that could put Penguin in a rather precarious predicament.
I think that's exactly what she's going to be, and so that I think that something's going to get. She's going to be like, I got to protect my girls, and that's one of the biggest things about these madams or whatever. Like they are all about protecting their girls, so that make sure they're good, they're safe, and there's nothing going to befall them. It's happened in several movies, several shows. It's just kind of what they do. Um, so
Even
with
in
that
video
being
games,
said,
yeah.
yeah. So with that being said, it's like okay, what's going to happen that's going to cause? Because he's already mentioned her to Sophia, and so that so Sophia can get to the point and decide to do something because the Falcone family knows his habits. So they probably knows that he frequents her from time to time. So I wouldn't be surprised if she comes up and ends up, being a problem or a problem that needs to be eliminated at some point. And she may talk, she may spill, or she may cause him because he's trying to protect her to do something that steps out of his normal, and he's unable to protect or handle that. So we'll see how that goes.
Because that would be the only Achilles heel he has. She's the only one that seems to have an in, on at least as far as like his inner circle, inner circle. Because like Victor is could be faking him out. Like that could be a crazy theory that eventually comes around. That would be a huge change from what the comic is because Victor Aguilar is just, his driver and they just have been solid history. Everything hasn't been rapidly changed. But again, like with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, changes can be made from comics to TV show. So everything has been going on fantastically as far as the character development for Victor. It would be weird to try and, at least in my mind, to have Victor being out there playing somebody while he's trying to steal from his car and then hopes that he is not accidentally, clipped in the end. So having things changed up that way would be interesting. And I think Victor Aguilar in the comics, I believe, is, different race than what he's being portrayed as. It doesn't change the character at all, one way, shape, or form. It's not something that's like integral to the character where Black Panther is, going to be someone who is African American. It's not like something where it's completely tied to this and is part of instinctually who they are. So Victor being anybody else, the actor's done such a phenomenal job. It's not even worth necessarily discussing it further than that. And yeah, shout out to Penguin's mom. She did a great job of selling the fact that I truly believed she was someone who had dementia. Like she looks like she's someone who's kind of going through it with the hand movement where she was having a shaking, the way she was being shifty and uneasy with her eyes with everyone in the room. If anyone's had someone like that in their life, sometimes there's ticks and there's certain things. Each one can be, specific to individuals because there's not like a whole broad statement that envelops everything. But if you've seen it, you kind of know that there's certain giveaways that you're like, yep, that's their thing. It's like Victor when he's trying to lie or trying to think on his feet and he's nervous, he has that tick where he stutters and then he'll grab his right earlobe. For some reason, grabbing that right earlobe kind of helps him expedite or speed up the process of getting out of the stutter so he's able to find his tongue, so to speak, and at least think on his feet and talk. So that's interesting to see. The show has been very, very well acted. There hasn't been a bad moment for me thus far. A lot of people I'm sure will be like, well, it's kind of slow. It's kind of like I know there's only 8 episodes. They really need to like jump into it. No, no, let them cook. Let them cook. You guys don't sit around for like 4 or 5 hours on Thanksgiving Day for a bad meal, do you? You sit around, you wait, you get your turkey, mashed potatoes, your stuffing, your rolls, your gravy, all that good stuff. It takes time to prepare and present a great meal. That's what they're doing with this, and was what Matt Reeves is doing with his universe for the Batman. I'm loving it. I don't have enough positive things to say about this show. That being said, I don't have much else to really discuss on the live necessarily about the show, unless you guys have something super interesting you really kind of want to like, get into here. Because like, yeah, Will and Antonio were on the same page about the foreshadowing of the casket. That's a good pickup. That was a good call, Will. Do you think that'll be like our episode 8 finale, or do you think Sophia's gonna be done sooner than that?
Uh, I think she'll be done by 7, 8. I don't think she's gonna survive the series. Because again, this is made for the Penguin. This is made for him to kind of come in and assert himself. And again, that's the kind of the theme is to take what he believes is his. So he's been working underneath for a while. He wants to take what's his, and everybody in the Falcone family is going to have to be eliminated at some point for him to take over what is Falcone's, and then work with the Maronis and work with the other crime families and stuff.
At least
Because
for the meantime.
for the meantime, so and that'll give him a monopoly more or less with that particular side of things, and then it'll be split between the Maronis and the Falcones empire, which will become the Cobblepots, empire. Sort of that. So it'll be Cobblepots and Maroni mainly split in freaking Gotham, and then everything else is up in the air because you just got other crime families that are another, like there's Metropolis crime families and all that kind of stuff. There's other crime families. I think there's like four or
I think
five.
even Star City has its own crime families as well.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah,
something.
it's definitely like, yeah, and like encourage Oz not to be just be a boss and take what is his. That's good parenting advice, even though necessarily we're not condoning the actions that he does, but it's a TV show, so it's like got to think within the confines of himself. We need Oz to seize that moment, and basically all he needs to do is stay on Sophia's good side long enough that he's able to get his hands on this revolutionary new thing that's going to take over all of Gotham and basically make everyone under the sun pay homage to him or Sophia in the meantime, and then go ahead, exceed past the Maronis, throw Sophia at them, and somehow both of them take themselves out, and he's just able to rule over the Ashes because he's like, look, I didn't want this, but I was able to orchestrate this. I was able to take out both heads of both families from within. Who's going to stop me? The answer is nobody and nothing. If he plays this right, which currently he is, and as long as Victor and Eve hold up their own, Oz is going to become the Penguin, and he's going to find his flock at the end of this show and his people to follow him moving forward as he builds up this empire that is going to become legitimate enough and strong enough that even Batman's going to have to be like, oh great, I got to go deal with Penguin. I'm going to have to go in with the stealth as opposed to just run in, beat up two or three guys like, cool, I got this random wannabe gangster off the street. Instead he has to go in and fight a compound. That's where the Penguin sees himself. He wants to be the Don Corleone of Gotham. And right now, well on his way. Very happy with the writing. The acting's great. There's pacing's good, music's good. Like, I don't have any complaints. Normally I'm here who's someone who's very cynical and I can find and nitpick stuff to a T. I've got nothing. So I'm very happy with what we've seen. Go ahead, tell all your friends, all your family, go watch this show, go watch this series. It's fantastic. They'll love it just as much as we do. I'm hoping. Just let's spread the word, get some viewership numbers up on the show. I know it's a limited series, so they're only planning on doing 8 episodes, and Colin Farrell already came out and was like, I'm only going to do season 2 if they absolutely ask me to do it. He's not going to push for it, but he said if they come to him and everything's right, he will come back for a season 2, but it's not right now in his plans or in the cards for Matt Reeves' universe. Batman 2 will be next after this. There is still talks about a Reeves universe being built up, though. So as
It
long
would
as
be
James Gunn knows what's
Elseworlds,
going
right?
on, things should be good.
Yeah, I mean we'll see. Freaking so. That's it. I mean, we just gotta wait and see what happens on episode 3, which he's gonna have one, whatever running around he's doing with Sophia, and two, he's gonna have to go back to the Maronis and explain that freaking their guy's gone. So
Yeah, they lost
what?
Irvad, and that was part of his, showing them up because their family was like, "Hey, we take care of our own. Our own is now no longer with us." So gonna have to explain that, Oz. Gonna be some big conversations to have happening right now. How do you feel, guys? Feel Mr. Freeze could be pulled off in this realistic world? That is a fun one. I think Mr. Freeze would be a perfect street level person. He still may be difficult, only in the sense that sometimes his science borderlines on magical at times. It's like trying to explain the Scarecrow well to the average person that he just kidnaps you, puts a drug in you, and next thing you know, you are having the worst nightmares of your life, and you are screaming in terror for till you pass out or are no longer with us. It's hard to do. It's a tough call, and especially with how people feel because of Mr. Freeze when it was Arnold's turn to go ahead and do it. I'm sure there's going to be some skepticism if that's how they're going to do things. I would personally rather see Clayface, as he has not gotten his shot at the big screen, and everyone laughed when the Riddler was named as the one to start. I don't think anyone's laughing now, and I think we're taking Matt Reeves very seriously at this moment in time for what he can do with the Batman universe. How would you feel about Mr. Freeze in this universe, Will?
I think it can be done. So with that, you definitely have to make sure that you're planning out the science of it. Liquid nitrogen, yes, is one of the things that I would think would be utilized. Um, but the thing is, when people are frozen, like there's probably no coming back from being frozen in this universe. Like if you get frozen, like your full body is like you are dead, you are done. Like there's no.
They would have to like do it here every single time on every single person, which eventually would lose its luster.
I mean, and yeah, and that's gonna leave freaking all types of chemical burns and all sorts. Like it's gonna be bad. So, but yeah, I think it can be done. Definitely at street level, and again, he's got a singular purpose. So you can play it up. I, I think that you can play it up, play him up as a side character in terms of he's around, so like that,
He's a
and we
thorn in
just
Batman's side.
and he snaps eventually and kind of goes full on with it. Um, so yeah, I think it's something. The one that I think would be one of the best ones to pull off. Again, I agree. Clayface is definitely one of the best ones to pull off and bring into this universe. Um, Again, I don't want to see a lot of the stuff that they've already done
Court
with
of
that.
Owls would be my option too for the
Court of
finale.
Owls, Court of Owls for the finale. Yes, I could run with that. But it depends on how much they want to go because you have a young enough Batman where you can play this out.
For at least 10, maybe 15 years. And if
Yeah,
everything's at this level quality, people are going to be begging for it the way they're begging for the MCU
Court
movies
of
when we needed it.
Owls could be freaking like you could finish out this trilogy, and then I would do Court of Owls freaking across 4, 5, 6. Like you could spread Court of Owls across 4, 5, 6. They're working in the background, and you can eventually get to the confrontation, so like that, and you've got freaking a really good Batman just to kind of go in and go for it. I am a hardcore Marvel fan, and DC, I'm just in love with right now. Like I'm so happy for them to doing what they're doing. Again, I love both. I love comics equally. Like I want both to thrive and succeed. Um, but again, they've been off their game. I mean, both DC and Marvel have been off their game, so that they even lost the superhero trademark in court just recently. So that they had superhero trademark for a long time. Superhero, I believe, is now part of the public domain. So, and that was a joint trademark that they both held. But with that being said, Matt Reeves has been on point with this. I'm not even gonna say DC. Like Matt Reeves has been on points with that. DC just kind of gets the nod by association, but
Because
DC is
they
still
all they've
doing
done
its
is
own thing.
Peacemaker and maybe Kite Man. That's about it.
Peacemaker was good. Peacemaker was good. Kite Man, I'll kind of put it in a different bag. I'm not gonna say it's bad, but like
It's a spoof. It's
ev-
not supposed to be,
yeah. So it's
mind-bendingly good. I just loved it.
so I want to see how DC is going to shine. What's gonna happen? What are they gonna do to really make the DC stand out? Like you're bringing Superman in. This is supposed to be what next year, right? Superman dropping next year.
Yep, Superman's dropping next year. I don't even know who he's facing, but I'm very curious to see what they do with that overall because that'll be your favorite Marvel guy, Mr. Gunn himself, now heading DC. That's his first official venture in DC. So that's the only project he's been on hands on from start to finish, other than Peacemaker. But it's cinema. So we'll see. We'll see. If it's anything like Guardians, I think all fans will be happy because, look, as a fan of content, Either it's Marvel, whether it's DC, whether it's Witcher, whether it's Last of Us, whether it's Game of Thrones, House of the Dragons, whatever the case may be. You just want content to be good across the board. It makes it so much easier covering stuff. I hate sitting up here and having to be like, this sucked, this didn't make sense, I don't know what's going on here, why did they do that? I'd rather much sit up here and be like, yo, I can't wait for next week. It's so much easier to come with the energy of this is going to be good, this is going to be exciting, this is something we can all enjoy. Go tell your friends about it. These are shows that be like, hey, go recommend it to somebody. Tell a friend. Like, we all got friends, we all talk. Share the stuff you're passionate about. You only get one go round at this life on the magical globe here, so might as well talk about stuff you enjoy with people you enjoy being around. You know what I'm saying? But hey, that's me on my soapbox. Um, yeah, Last of Us is going to be dropping in sometime. I was it February? Was it March? It was early 2025, if I'm
It was
remembering
early,
rightly.
yeah. So yeah, it should be dropping soon. They'll probably, I want to say they'll probably go January and sort of that, because Captain America will have a lot of hype behind it around Valentine's Day. So you don't want to drop it right around that same time. So you either want to drop it before or after. I think will be good for them. So if
I
they
would
drop
take
it
Last of
before,
Us over anything Marvel's doing, but again, that's
mm,
just me.
well, this is their big step out now. Freaking after a lot of things have been discussed and settled and
For about five
figuring it out.
years now. Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen them come on screen and come on screen well correctly. Because the last time they came on screen was a big spoof pointing fun of themselves. At least they're self-aware that their products haven't been hitting. That part you can take with a grain of salt. Right now we have a whole bunch of street level heroes, and if everything is pointing correctly, we need somebody who's going to stop Sentry. So you need to figure that out because Sentry ain't that dude. You just street level. That's
I mean,
call a friend, phone a friend, find somebody.
I just want to see what they're going to bring in, because the Avengers got to get restarted somehow. And I think if Sam Wilson is going to be at the front of it, then you got to bring more things in. I would love to see, because Misty Knight was shown in the Defenders throughout those series and stuff with Luke Cage and stuff like that. Misty Knight was credited for a lot of the martial arts training that Sam had to undergo to actually become more of a fighter. So I would love for them to lean into some of that, and they'll start bringing some of these characters in and put some stuff together.
Who can stop him? Uh, we need to pull Wanda out the grave. I think. I think that's
I
where
think
we're
they're
at with
working on
things
that.
right now.
We're
So
working on that.
there's not a lot of people who's like going to be able to pull. Oh, playing Ultimate Alliance. Oh, Ultimate Alliance was just undeniably good. It set the bar so high for me on video game characters from comics just shining that it made me very jaded about a lot of other products that came out. I think Marvel's or Sony's Spider-Man is the only one where it's even like, okay, we're talking in the same ballpark here because Marvel versus Capcom is another fun one, but I was never that great at it. So see how that goes as far as a lot of things concerned. I know
I
Dragon
mean,
Ball Daima is around the corner and Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is coming around the corner. I'm excited for those for fighter games, but that's a whole different topic for another day.
I need some more co-op Marvel games, just in general. Ultimate Alliance
Isn't
was
the
so
Black
good.
Panther and Captain America game supposed to be co-op?
I've seen shots of that. Like, I need to see some like more realistic gameplay about whatever's going on. So we'll see. I do think that Spider-Man has a potential to go further, because I don't know, this may be for your time. There's a game called Separation Anxiety that was
Way
one of
before
my
my time.
favorite, way one of my favorite games that we used to play. So you could play as, Spider-Man and Venom, and you're trying to round up all the symbiotes and stuff like that. So it was great. So if we can get something like that with Spider-Man, with the way Marvel Spider-Man has been doing and kind of setting that up, I think that would be really good, because it's a game that you can set to play solo or play co-op. Um, so I think it'll be really, really fun. DC versus Mortal Kombat. DC Mortal Kombat was fun. It was great, interesting take on thing. I think it's kind of lost its luster now because the way Mortal Kombat works everything. And when they did the big reset, I was like, okay, it's fine. But
Injustice
everything
picked
with,
up where that left off. I thought from
yeah,
the
they're bringing everything in. So we have all these guest characters that they're bringing in, and I'm just kind of looking at it like, Fortnite now at this point. Like they're just gonna keep bringing in characters from other properties and stuff like that to sell the game. Then what do I care at this point? Like
Mm.
kind of done. Arkham was one of the greatest series ever created as far as the superhero genre games. Like yeah, it's
Yeah, because
I
Arkham
don't-
and Spider-Man right now are basically toe to toe. I'm giving the nod to DC because like Arkham City is the only game where I've ever officially lost track of time with. I picked it up. I want to say it was like a 7 p.m. I had a work shift at like 5 in the morning. I started playing the game. Next thing I know, there is light coming through my window. I look up, it's like 4, and I had to walk to work, and that was like an hour away. I was almost late to a work shift because I was playing that game. So I almost lost my job over a video game because it was that good. And I tell you what, I did not go home and sleep right after my shift was over. I just picked that game up again until I officially crashed because I could not put it down. It was fantastic. If you've never played the Arkham series, I think they're on sale or they've been on sale for a minute. Go ahead and find yourself a copy and enjoy yourself. That'd be a fun game to stream along with everybody, but I would be way too nervous to do a good job of that. I can tell you that much. I would much prefer getting like Tony on there because he is the Batman head. He's the Batman expert. He is all things DC. Will knows more about DC comics than I do as well. But that series in of itself, Chef's Kiss, fantastic. 10 out of 10, one of my favorite series, video game wise, all time. It's up there. I don't really have anything else about the Penguin or any other breaking news, anything else that was really super pertinent to discuss. So I think, are you
no.
okay with wrapping this up, Will?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I got everything.
Thanks everyone who came and had a fantastic chat with us. As always, shout out to Antonio, shout out to Trey, shout out to Bart, shout out to Football Scouting Report. Meester, welcome in everybody. Fantastic chatting with y'all. Be sure to hit that lovely red subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, we cover all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more. The next time you'll see us live will be for Agatha All Along, followed by the season 2 finale of Rings of Power. And then My Hero Academia will be following that next couple days as they are about 2 episodes away from the finale of season 7. The last episode was probably the best episode they've ever done. So if you're not caught up, do yourself a favor, catch up, check out our review we got on the channel. I've been Brent with Will. We'll see you in the next one.